Members, we move to the vote on part two. The question. I'll call David Shearer.
Thank you, Mr Chair. I'd like to take a brief call on this bill, and I just want to pick up where the Honourable Marion Street has finished off. This is the time in which this is taken to come before the House and to be considered here at the committee stages. That we are talking about the transitional measures in this clause of the bill, and the transition has taken since 2009. And I was looking back over Hansard as well and reflecting on the progress of this bill, and seeing the name of Simon Power, who was obviously belonged to a different era of this Parliament. Very fine Justice Minister, an outstanding closing speech when he left this Parliament, one of the best I've ever heard. But it goes to show you just how long it has taken for this bill to, in fact, come to the House and be able to be considered. So this bill has got the support of the Labor Party. Of course, it's got the support of the Labor Party. We actually devised it. The Honourable Leanne Dalzell did that well back before 2009 and 2008, and I won't go on about who has been trying to shepherd this bill through and the unfortunate circumstances on which Mr Banks has delayed this bill being brought forward. But the idea of the bill, as it's set out both in Clause 1 and Clause 2, is to promote efficient, transparent and objective, investigative and clear decision-making processes around our imports. It upgrades or updates legislation that dates right back to 1987. The former during a Labor government has not been updated since then, and obviously is well overdue. It puts us and helps us to be compliant with the WTO regulations as well. The current regime, as we know, is subject to the Temporary Safeguards Authority Act 1987. That's the act that I was just talking about. It needed that comprehensive review, and I have to say that I acknowledge the good work of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee in being able to consider this in the way that it has been able to come to some consensus around it, and particularly the temporary safeguard measures contained in Clause 2. There has been a very small number of investigations over the period of that time, and remember the whole purpose of this bill and these safeguards is to ensure that we don't see dumping, undermining of our industries. We are a free trading nation, sir. Everybody knows that. We support free trade. It's my honour to be sitting beside Phil Goff, who signed the most important free trade agreement in New Zealand's history, which is the China Free Trade Agreement. And if this government is able to follow that template, we will be well served by free trade agreements into the future. That free trade agreement, sir, has meant that a $5 billion value of imports into this country from China and a $3 billion exports to China in 2008 has now led to $7 billion each way. $7 billion each way, a 100% increase, and now China has become the most important trading nation to New Zealand. So we need to be able to move and ensure that not only do we have a free trade environment, but we also put the protections in place that enable our industries here to have the protection from that uncontrolled dumping and the type of activity that might undermine our industries, keeping in mind, sir, that we are obviously a free trading nation as well. So the Temporary Safeguard Authorities Act 1987 needed to be replaced with a modern regime and avoid harm being caused to New Zealand industries from rapid increases in imports in the sort of dumping. And the ability to impose separate for provisional and final safeguard duties will allow us to do this efficiently and effectively through one government department, which will be, it was going to be the Ministry of Economic Development, contained now within the great Gigantosaurus of Moby under Stephen Joyce. Mr. Chair?
David Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, sir, the current legislation does not contain, at the moment, any guidance on the way that we should, what constitutes public interest, what sort of impact might constitute a need for action to be taken. And the one purpose of this bill is contained in Clause 1, but it obviously transfers into the second part as well. It does do that. It gives us a much more clear understanding of the process by which we need to follow in order that the bill is contained, what is taken into the bill is contained is in the public interest. As I said, sir, it also shifts the responsibility for undertaking these safeguard investigations onto the Ministry of Economic Development, and obviously within the context of Moby. So the bill therefore will create a single government point of contact for all the trade remedy inquiries, and I think that will be a plus, an advantage for our many commercial concerns and businesses, knowing that they have one single point of expertise in which an oversight that will govern this. Sir, the bill also extends the time frame for the completion of the safeguard investigation from 30 days to 75 working days, or even out to 85 working days as well. That's a positive step. It does mean that it falls pretty much in line, or does fall in line with the WTO dispute settlement body, and it helps to clarify the obligations that must be dealt with before safeguard measures can be imposed. It gives us the time to do a thorough and a good job, sir, rather than trying to hurry it through and not being able to come to that conclusion properly. Sir, I believe this bill is something that will be of great advantage.
Sorry to interrupt the honourable member. The time has come for me to report progress.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The House has resumed. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, the committee has considered the Taxation, Annual Rates, Foreign Superannuation and Remedial Matters Bill and reports it with amendment. The committee has also considered the Student Loan Scheme Amendment Bill No. 3 and reports it without amendment. The committee has also considered the Trade Safeguard Measures Bill and reports progress. The committee has also considered the Electoral Amendment Bill and reports no progress. Mr. Speaker, I move that the report be adopted.
The question is that the report be adopted. Those of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. So the Taxation, Annual Rates, Foreign Superannuation and Remedial Matters Bill and the Student Loan Scheme Amendment Bill No. 3 are set down for third reading next sitting day, while the Trade Safeguard Measures Bill and the Electoral Amendment Bill are set down for further consideration in committee next sitting day, and the House will stand adjourned until 2 p.m. tomorrow. Good evening, everybody.